they know what they're doing. They have something great that they want to roll out in their community and for their target audiences, but they feel like it's so much information that it's overload and nothing cohesively makes sense.
Want to transform your business into a brand that truly shines? Well, you're in the right place. My name is Summer Vega, and I am thrilled to have you here. With over 25 years of experience from leading communications teams to building my business from scratch, I've seen it all: setbacks, success, and everything in between. And guess what? I'm here to spill the beans on what it truly takes to build and sustain a brilliant brand. So whether you're just starting out or looking to revamp your existing brand, you'll find golden nuggets of wisdom right here. We'll dive deep into strategies, mindset shifts, and nitty-gritty details that make brands extraordinary. Stick around, because Brilliant Brands Academy is where we believe that every entrepreneur has the potential to create something truly exceptional. And together, we'll turn that potential into reality. So hit the subscribe button and let's get started on this exciting journey to brand brilliance.
Greetings and welcome to the very first episode of Brilliant Brands Academy podcast. My name is Summer Vega, and I am the founder of Brilliant Brands Academy, powered by my agency, Pocket PR, where we help business owners and business leaders create brilliant brands with content that gets them the exposure they want. So, what is the topic of today's podcast? When I work with brands and entrepreneurs that may have a new idea, one of the things that seems to be the most common theme is that they have a lot going on, but very little strategy. What that means is that they've created brochures, they've created flyers, they've created logos, they've created websites, social media content, all the things that kind of may match in color, but it doesn't really cohesively work together. And as a result, it's almost like having a goulash of information about their company out there, and they end up feeling overwhelmed, and so do their clients. I get these clients that come up to me with the sense that they know what they're doing. They have something great that they want to roll out in their community and for their target audiences, but they feel like it's so much information that it's overload and nothing cohesively makes sense. You'd be shocked how many times I'm in a discovery call with someone who wants us to come in and just make sense of the madness. I mean, just today, I was on a call where they were like, we've got all the things, but I honestly don't know what is my next step after someone says they want information. So what that tells me is that there are a lot of businesses out there that have great intention. And let me tell you, I appreciate the ideal of making imperfect action, where you don't have all of your ducks in order, maybe not even all your T's crossed, all your I's dotted, but you know that you got to take action and not have perfection paralysis. I appreciate that. But there does come a moment when you have to, when branding, you have to have strategy in place. There are some foundational things that need to be in order that will quite honestly save you a whole lot of time, effort, and will give you that exposure that you are looking for. So in today's podcast, I'm actually going to go over 4 things that you must consider and must do before you even get down to looking at your colors, looking at your logo, creating brochures, and all the things. So the first thing that you've got to think about is, what is your purpose? What is your brand value? It goes beyond just selling products, but what is your mission and your vision? Now, some of you may have already created a business plan, so you have this in place, but many people, they just jump out the box and they just start selling, right? Because there's money that has to be made. And in today's day and age, we are all driven to make things happen. But at some point, you have to sit down, take your time, take a breather, and decide what exactly is your mission? Where are we going here? What are the things that we value? And I say that this is important because these are those little things that set us apart. These are those little things that set us apart from our competitors, in that the experience that customers or clients will have oftentimes are the result of the mission and the values that we hold dear. So, what does that look like? So, your values could be simply different words that really exemplify who you are and the type of products that you offer or service that you offer. Are you innovative? Are you committed to innovation? Are you committed to community? Are you a brand that wants an excellent user experience? Are you a brand that wants to be known for excellence? Are you a brand that loves adventure? Is it class? Is it style and sophistication? Is it a brand that is inclusive? Is it accessible? These are all the things that you would think about when crafting exactly what you value most when it comes to your business. And as business owners, oftentimes we find that our brand values align a lot with our own personal values. For instance, I love tech. I love tech. I love innovation. I love software. I love strategies and procedures. Therefore, one of our values is creating solutions through innovative strategies for brilliant brands. We also are dedicated to engrafting ourselves into the client's culture as if we are their in-house communications or branding department. Another thing that we value is the ideal of working smarter, using the latest best practices, software, and technology to get the work done. So, when you look at your personal brand, your business brand, whatever that is, what are the things that matter most to you? You see, this is important before you even start putting down some graphic design and creating the brochures and all the things. You really have to get down to the foundational pieces of your brand. So, once again, number one, define your brand purpose and values. Number two, which is super important, is understand your target audience. Who exactly are you talking to? Who are the people that you are reaching with your brand? Now, first thought for many of us is demographics. Where do they live? What is their race, their age? Their health could be a part of it. All of the basics, but we tend to not go a step further. And that step further is psychographics. So when you look at the psychographics of your audience, you're digging deeper into their mind, their mindset, their wants, their desires. How do they like to receive information, for instance? Yes, many of us have to be on social media. It is a tool that is so powerful. But are you a business where your audience actually loves to read? Loves to read their information? And if so, then a blog is more of what you would do. versus putting all your efforts into social media? Is your audience the type of people who don't like to read, who have short attention spans like many of us do? Therefore, obviously, TikTok, Reels, things like that are very valuable. But before you actually go in deep and say, oh, I need to be on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, I need to do a podcast, I need to be on YouTube Shorts, Facebook, Snapchat, all of the plethora of things that most people use, I would say that it would benefit you the most if you figure out, first of all, who is your target audience? And then, second of all, where are they? Where are your target audience? Because the same people that are on Snapchat are not on Instagram necessarily. I ran a ad campaign for a client that was geared towards a target audience of teenagers in lower income communities. So, looking at the target audience for that, number one, teenager. That says a lot. So, looking at where are teenagers? Are teenagers on LinkedIn? No, that's an obvious. But I'm saying it to you so that you can get it, so that you can understand exactly what I'm saying. So, a brand or a campaign that is targeting teenagers would be wasting their time doing ads on LinkedIn. I know, like I said, it's the obvious, but I really want to drive the point in so that you truly understand what I'm getting at. So, when you look at your target audience, you can do several things to figure it out. One of the things that I love to do is focus groups, getting a group together of people who love to buy your products or who are interested in products that your competitor sells. I would get a group together and start asking them different questions in regards to your brand, and most importantly, ask them qualifying questions concerning messaging and what matters most to them. Because you see, if you're doing a brochure and it is heavy on statistics and um, return on investment and all of these things, but your audience is not as valuable as you and I know that is as business owners, does your audience truly see value in that? Meaning, is that their selling point? Do they care about all the numbers and the stats? Or, simply put, do they care that it works for them? Do they care that it's solving a problem for them? And what is that problem? Most cases, that is it. People buy from you because you are creating a solution of some type. So, whoever it is that you are creating the solution for, you need to figure out exactly how they think, what matters to them, what doesn't matter to them, what type of information I had mentioned earlier in regards to video versus written information, but also what type of information do they like to receive in terms of content? Meaning, do they not like it when you speak to them in an abrupt, a matter of fact way? Do you need to kind of soften the tone with this audience? Or is this an audience that likes you to shoot it straight? You know, there's so many different things that make people different. And in your brand, you have a person or an avatar, as many business owners and brand experts like to say. You have an avatar, you have a specific target audience, and they think, they dress, they make decisions, they consume information all in different ways. So you have to figure out who they are and all of these things about them. So, once again, number two, understand your target audience. Number three, market differentiation. You have to analyze what makes your brand unique compared to your competitors. So, with that, before I get into it, I want you to know that is my belief that there's plenty of business out there for all of us. I do not believe in the ideal of not going into business for what some people might call an oversaturated niche or oversaturated industry. For instance, trainers. My husband Lou is a personal trainer and a nutrition coach. Many people would be like, oh my goodness, there's so many trainers out there. Yeah, but guess what? There's one Lou. There's one. Okay. So when I say market differentiation, it is with the ideal that even though there are other businesses out there that do the same thing that you do on paper, reality is they are different from you by the simple fact that they have you. You, the founder, the leader, makes it unique in and of itself. So I want to put that out there first of all. There's something that you have, there's a way that you do business, a way that you speak, a way that you identify with others that makes you unique in and of yourself. So that's the first thing. That's kind of like the obvious, unobvious thing. People don't really think about it. You have to really come to grips with the fact that as an entrepreneur, you have something valuable to give, but that there's people specifically out there who are for you. It kind of lends into the target audience thing. There's a target audience for you. Well, there's business for you. All right. Now, the other thing is basically your unique selling proposition. Basically, what is it about your business that is unique in how you do business and how you deliver upon your service, on how your product works? For instance, we all know that there are coffee houses everywhere. It seems like they're popping up everywhere. But some places that you can get a cup of coffee at feel different from other places that you can get a cup of coffee at. Some places you walk in and you're just getting a cup of coffee, something quick to eat, almost feels like fast food. Walk in and walk out. But others, you walk in and it's a whole experience. You feel like you are in a place of sophistication and productivity. In fact, many of us go out of our way to do a remote working office at the coffee shop because we love how it makes us feel. This is an example of one coffee shop being different from another. Both offer coffee and both probably have a latte on the menu. Both probably have a mocha on the menu, Americana, but one just feels a little bit more fast foodish and the other one just feels a little bit more sophisticated. So you see where I'm going with this. They're unique in and of themselves. And that uniqueness is important to identify before you create your collateral and your branding and all the things. You really have to sit down and figure out what is it that's going to attract my target audience and establish a strong position in the market that says my product or my service is different and boom, I need that. Your clients will be like, oh, I want that. And you have to stay true to it. Don't try to be like someone else. Be yourself. Even if you have some elements that resemble other brands, still there are things that make you unique. You've got to own it. Own your uniqueness, and it'll take you a long way. Now, the final number 4 thing that you have to consider before even going into building all the collateral is to create the brand message. So you could see that these things kind of work together from the value proposition, your values, your target audience, your market differentiation, and then now your brand message. You have to establish, based on the previous items, you have to establish your tone, your style for messaging. Does it align with your audience's expectations? And does it really reflect your brand's personality, your brand's values? This is super important because once you develop that brand message, you are going to be cognizant of it, and you will ensure that it's embedded in everything that you create. It will help you decide on key visual elements. This is the thing that'll help you decide on your color palette. It's the thing that will help you decide on your logo, the style of the logo. Is it all words? Is it words and icon? Is it only icon? All of these things, the typography. This is all going to culminate into the overall feel and the style of your brand message. When I work with clients, I also like to create key messages. So what that looks like is almost similar to an elevator pitch. I guess you could say it is an elevator pitch. If someone were to ask you, what is it that you do? It is a succinct statement that gets the point across every time. I am a true believer in coming up with these key messages because it ensures that the messaging is consistent no matter who is saying it and no matter where it's being said and how it's being said. If you're an organization of one person as a solopreneur, or you're an organization of 20 or more, these key messages will be important in ensuring that the overall tone and style and messaging of your company is duplicatable and is consistent everywhere. For some clients, I will have them create acronyms, as corny as it may sound sometimes. Those acronyms are catchy and they're easy to remember. So sometimes I'll have them create an acronym, and every word on the acronym jars their memory to a statement that is important or is a key message for their brand. If it's not an acronym, I'll even have them say like 3 adjectives or 3 things that lead them into a key message. And then for some, it is, I do this for this client so that they can get this. That's like the framework. So if you notice at the beginning of this podcast episode, I introduced myself, for instance, and I said that I help entrepreneurs and business leaders create brilliant brands with content that gets them the exposure they want. That's a key message for my company. And if you look at all my collateral, you're going to see it. You're going to see it somewhere. So that's why these key messages are important. So let's just do a quick recap. Number 1, you're going to define your brand's purpose and your values, which kind of gets into your identity. Number 2, you're going to understand your target audience. Number 3, we'll understand our market differentiation. And then number 4, you've got to have a consistent brand message. All 4 of these things are foundational and are super important before you even write a brochure or create any kind of collateral. Because branding is more than what you see. It's the experience. By looking at these 4 things, you are preparing yourself to create a brand with efforts that are aligned, impactful, and it also leads to more cohesive and recognizable brand identity. And that's it, folks. Thanks for tuning in to the very first episode of Brilliant Brands Academy podcast. This is Summer Vega, and we'll talk to you again later.